Hello everyone and welcome again to my channel. Today we will continue our lesson about the classical era music and we'll expound it even more. So the second topic in music for this quarter is about classical era, music, art, and history. For our most essential learning competency, at the end of the lesson you'll be able to relate classical music to other art forms and its history within the era and improvise appropriate accompaniment to selected music from the classical period. As for our learning objectives, you'll be able to describe the classical music and its relationship to other art forms and its history within the era, and analyze the music of selected classical era composers through listening and participate actively in class discussion. If you are new to my channel, this is a channel that covers different music content like music covers, tutorials, and discussions. I also upload grade 9 MAPE lectures. I would greatly appreciate if you will subscribe and hit that bell button in support to all my efforts. So let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is the background of classical era, particularly its historical background. The term classical has several meanings when applied to music, and specifically, it may refer to a period of literature extending roughly from the death of Johann Sebastian Bach in 1750s to the death of Ludwig van Beethoven in 1827, and it features the work of these three greatest composers of all time, Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Generally, the term classical may be applied to any composition, composer, or period that is marked by the following characteristics. First is objectivity, second is traditionalism, third is simplicity, fourth is clarity, balance, and lastly is restraint. So kapag ang isang music or art ay merong ganitong klaseng characteristic, objectivity, traditionalism, simplicity, clarity, balance, and restraint, then definitely it uses the style of classical. Yan. So let's relate music and society. Nung panahon ng Baroque era, nag-emerge yung iba't ibang klase ng scientific discoveries at saka yung mga pag-aaral like yung mga pag-aaral, yung mga discoveries ni Galileo, nila Newton, nung panahon na iyon. And then by the middle of the 18th century, faith in the power of reason opened a new point in history called the Age of Enlightenment, believing that reason, not tradition nor custom, was the best guide for human conduct. Bakit sobrang importante nitong Age of Enlightenment sa paghubog ng society nung panahon ng classical era? Kasi noon, kung ano yung sinasabi ng mga mayayaman, ng mga aristocrats, or sinasabi ng simbahan, yun lang ang pinaniniwalaan ng mga tao, and that causes them to be oppressed. Kumbaga kaya nagkakaroon ng gap between the rich and the poor nung panahon na to, nung Baroque period, di ba? Kasi nung panahon ng Baroque period, sobrang makapangyarihan ng mga aristocrats during that time. Kaya sila nagkakaroon ng ganong klaseng influence from medieval to Baroque period is because of kung ano ini-instill nila sa isipan ng mga tao. Pero nung panahon na ng classical period, nagkaroon ng panibagong shifting ng ideology ang mga tao ng panahon na yon through the Age of Enlightenment. Enlightenment sabihin para naliwanagan ka, nabukas ang kaisipan mo, na hindi talaga yung kung ano yung sinasabi ng mga tao sa iyo, o itong sinasabi ng tradisyon, o yung sinasabi ng religion, ang dapat mong sundin para sa iyong buhay. So yun ang tinuturo sa Age of Enlightenment, na kinakailangan malaman mo ano yung purpose, bakit mo ito ginagawa, at hindi kayo dapat nagpapaapi sa mga sinasabi ng mga aristocrats or ng mga sinasabi ng church. Ito yung ideology na ibinukas ng panahon ng classical period. Yun. Kaya nga nung panahon ng classical period, parang kabi-kabila yung mga revolution, yung mga pagsusulat ng mga iba't ibang authors na sinusuligsa nila yung sobrang oppression na ginagawa ng society, ng mga mayayaman sa kanila. And through education, yung mga ordinaryong tao, na-awaken sila dun sa ideology na yun. Yeah, sabi nga, this ideology weakened the authority of social and religious institution, attacking the privileges of the aristocrats and clergy that dominated society during that time. Kaya because of that, dahil mga tao, kine-question na nila itong mga pinapagawa ng mga mayayaman sa kanila, itong pang-aalipusta ng mga mayayaman sa kanila. Because of that, political and economic power shifted from aristocracy and church to the middle class. Kaya yung mga sinabi natin middle class, ito yung mga ordinaryong tao na nakapag-aral at merong mayroong source of income through business or through yung pagtatrabaho nila, ganyan. And the growing middle class who was greater access to education, financial stability, and leisure time fueled the demand for public concerts. So, di ba, sabi nga natin, nagkaroon ng shifting sa political power from the aristocrats, unti-unti na nagkaroon ng boses sa lipunan yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan na mga nasa middle class. And because they have education, meron silang financial stability, because they have business, and then they also have leisure time, nagkaroon na ng iba't ibang avenue for composers to break from the patronage system na maalipin sa kanila, and they seek their fortune as a freelance musician. Before kasi yung mga musician, meron silang tinatawag na patron. Yung patron is para siyang sponsor, mayaman na sponsor na nagko-commission sa'yo na mag-compose or mag-perform, and sila din yung dahilan kung bakit sumisikat yung mga composers gaya nila Johann Sebastian Bach, sila Haydn, sila Handel, ganyan. Pero at the same time, para din siyang form of oppression kasi hindi ka maaaring mag-compose or maging isang artist sa labas ng patron mo. And at the same time, kino-consider kasi ng mga patron yung kanilang mga artists and musician as part ng kanilang mga tagapaglingkod. Kumbaga parang mga slaves nila. Kaya limited lang yung rights ng mga musicians, gaya nila yan, sila Johann Sebastian Bach, kaya nga umabot ng 1,000 plus yung composition niya kasi talagang parang kinonsider siya na slave nung kanyang dating patron. Hanggang to the point na masira yung kalusugan niya. So struggle ng mga composers yun, not artists yun ng panahon na yun, kasi wala silang ibang pwedeng puntahan na makaka-appreciate ng kanilang gawa, kundi yung mga aristocrats lang. Pero dahil nga nung panahon ng classical period is nagkaroon ng shifting sa political power. Nagkaroon na ng ibang audience yung mga musicians na to, kaya pwede na silang mag-break from the patronage system. Di na pwedeng magmalaki yung mga aristocrats sa kanila na, pag kumawala ka sa akin, wala nang makaka-appreciate ng music mo. Hindi na nila pwedeng sabihin yun. Kasi mas marami na silang audience, gaya nga ng mga middle class. At yung mga middle class na to, gusto nila din makapag-aral ng music, kaya din nila makapagbayad ng tickets. So, meron yung pwedeng puntahan or pwedeng maging patron yung mga ibang musicians aside doon sa mga aristocrats. And then music education became in demand during that time that aristocrats and middle class could hire musicians and music teachers to educate them. So hindi lang din more on composition ang parang profession ng mga musicians nung panahon ng classical period, pero din na rin silang magturo ng music. And then composers struggled to write music that would appeal to the amateur listeners and learned enthusiasts. Kasi before, nasanay yung mga composers dun sa style na gusto ng mga aristocrats, na parang style ng Baroque, di ba? Kasi yun na-trip ng mga aristocrats yung sobrang magarbo, maarte, because it speaks about themselves. Pero itong mga ordinaryong mamamayan, mga middle class, ayaw nila ng ganun. Ayaw nila yung trip ng mga yaman na music, sa music. Gusto nila mas simple lang, yung mas madaling maintindihan, mas madaling magawa, ma-perform. Kaya parang yung mga composers, kailangan nilang laging makita yung balance between dun sa sobrang arte na gusto ng mga mayayaman at saka yung mga sobrang simple na gusto ng mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Now let us relate classical music and arts. Shifts in style in the visual arts paralleled the revolutions in thought and action. So at the start of the 18th century, the Rococo style emerged from the heavy monumental Baroque style, and it features light, colors, curved lines, and graceful ornaments. Isa nga sa mga kilalang famous Rococo painters during that time is yung si John Honor Fragonard noong 1732 to 1806. And kadalasan, yung kanyang mga paintings or artworks ay katungkol sa enchanted world of men and women. Isa sa mga sikat na painting niya is yung The Swing, which features the intimate Rococo style and is one of the most emblematic images of the 18th century French art. So ito yung tsura ng The Swing by John Honor Fragonard. Yan, makita ninyo, di ba? Ano yung mga curved lines, and then parang meron pa rin siya influence ng Baroque style kasi parang naka-darken pa rin yung paligid niya, yung side niya. Pero we could see na mas pinifeature niya yung light colors and parang meron nga siyang sinasuggest na parang fantasy or simplicity dun sa kanyang style. Parang sobrang elegant at saka parang light, ang light nung atmosphere ng kanyang painting. So however, during the late 18th century, there was another shift in taste, and the Rococo's art was considered frivolous, extremely ornamented, and lacking in ethical content. So thus, neoclassical style superseded the Rococo style. Now, di ba, from the Baroque style, nagkaroon ng Rococo style na parang mas simple compared sa Baroque style. Pero nung talaga natapos na yung 18th century, yung mga tao, ayaw na din nila ng Rococo style kasi sinasabi na this is so frivolous, this is extremely ornamented, para nakakaumay yung itsura niya, and this lack ethical content. Di ba, tatandaan ninyo, i-relate natin dun sa age of reasoning, yung age of enlightenment. Ayaw ng mga middle class man ng mga sobrang malalaswang idea at saka gusto nila simple lang. Kaya nagkaroon na tayo na tinatawag na neoclassical style. So neoclassical art recaptures the noble simplicity and calm grandeur of the ancient Greek and Roman art. So di ba nung panahon ng classical era sa art, pinag-aralan natin na yung ancient Greek at saka ancient Roman, meron siyang parang simplicity and calm grandeur. So, binalik ulit yon, kaya nga neoclassical, parang new classical style, yun yung ibig niya sabihin. So, the distinct characteristic of neoclassical art are clear structure, balance, strict lines, and moralistic subject matter, contrary to the extreme ornamentation of Rococo art. And the Ode of the Hierarchy by Jacques-Louis David in 1784 is one of the famous neoclassical paintings that depicts the simplicity and balance of neoclassical art. So, let's analyze. Ano ba yung Ode of the Hierarchy? Ay sinasabi ng balance and simplicity. So compared nga naman talaga dun sa The Swing kanina, this is much simpler, and makikita natin na talaga meron siyang influence ng classical Greek and Roman art. Ano yung sinasabi natin na balance? You can see there are 3 people here, and then there are 3 swords, and then yung mga tao dito, there are 3 women. And then Horati is at the center. Diba? Meron 3 columns. So it's really well balanced. Yung din pagkakaposisyon nila, kumbaga yung distribution of visual weight is kitang-kita dito sa painting na Ode of the Hierarchy, which speaks of the style of classical art. So music historians borrowed the term classical from art history. So the parallel between classical music and neoclassical art is the emphasis on balance and clarity of structure. So doon pala nanggaling yung salitang classical music. Meron siyang relationship dun sa style ng neoclassical art na nag-e-emphasize dun sa balance and clarity. So these characteristics are found in the fully developed classical style of music commonly composed by its master composers Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven during the 1770s to 1820s. Kaya pala yung style nila Beethoven na sobrang simple, sobrang madaling matandaan yung melody, sobrang balanse ng music, ay ganun. Kasi yung palang, yung palang origin nun is yung style ng neoclassical art that also emphasizes balance and clarity in terms of structure. So that is the relationship between classical art and classical music. Now let us listen to some of the compositions from the classical era made by composers Franz Joseph Haydn, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Ludwig van Beethoven. First, let's listen to Symphony No. 94 in D by Haydn, and let's analyze kung nasaan yung characteristic ng classical era dito na sinasabing merong balance and clarity. So that is Symphony No. 94. Now let's listen to Symphony No. 40 in G minor by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Again, let's find nasaan yung mga characteristics na balance and simplicity sa composition na ito ni Mozart. So that's Symphony number 40 in G minor. Lastly, let's listen to Symphony number 5 in C minor by Ludwig van Beethoven. So that is the end of our discussion, and I hope that you learned something from our topic for today. I would love to interact with you guys, so please share your takeaways, comments, and questions on the comment box. Please leave a like and share this video to support my channel. And always keep safe and healthy and stay awesome. Have a great day.